For 260. Ambitions seem to require and demand more than that today.
Yes, psychologically, Bangladesh will also be thinking about whether they can get to a score of 275. That's the score that they defended against England. The way they are batting is beautifully played short, but it's played it late, and that's Mushfiqur Rahim. They've gone for the second, coming back for the third. This is good running, very good running.
Curious to see how this over pans out, because if you go back maybe more than 3 years ago, they've always been prone to the odd collapse, Bangladesh, even when they start well. The game much amongst the top 5 nations, let's say. All things being equal, it seems to be a 300 game batting first most times, not every time. 88 scores of over 300 have been scored since the last World Cup. And we've only been 2 years out of it. By the time the next one comes along, it could be about 150. "27 overs gone, 143 for 2.
জন্য টাকা পাঠা সেবা বাংলাদেশে তাৎক্ষণিক নগদ টাকা সংগ্রহ করা যাবে। zoom.com-এ যান অথবা আজই জুম অ্যাপ ডাউনলোড করুন। জুম, বাংলাদেশে টাকা পাঠানো ও ফোন রিচার্জ করার সবচেয়ে সহজ উপায়।
And you can get into the act as well by voting for your favorite Ash cricket. Get into the... One for 26 for Ben Stokes back into the attack. Real superstar in the making. And here's another one with some analysis. Nazar Hussain.
Thanks, Bish. I've got some analysis of Tamim Iqbal, actually. He's one of the lads that's using this bat sensor in the top of his bat. And it's a bigger bat, some information, 32, and whack it. Tamim actually, like most players, are the other way round. And he's whacked that nicely in front of square for 4. That's a beautiful shot. The other thing I've noticed with Tamim, actually, it gives you a little hint. Every bowler, as you know, Bish, will be looking for any hint as to the shot coming. And I've done a split screen of one that he blocked and the one that he hit for 6. Look at the one that he blocked. His back lift goes up as the point of delivery. The one he hits for 6, his back lift doesn't go up at all. It's on the ground and he never lifts it up. So as a bowler, as a spinner, Moeen Ali has to be watching Tamim Iqbal's backlift, he gives you a clue as if he's coming after you or not.
I told you he was a superstar.
It's a terrific pull shot. Brings up the 50 partnership as well. Oh, these batsmen. Look, you talk about Tamim Iqbal, but take nothing away from someone like Mushfiqur Rahim. He'll enjoy batting here. He's looked very good. At the moment, they're not in any trouble. What this partnership picked up. That's the bowling lineup. Vokes just the 2 overs. He's off the field. Wood 1905. Ball touch expensive. Stokes is the one who picked up the wicket. A little bit too wide. Just for a moment, Mushfiqur Rahim eyes probably would have thought that he has an opportunity to put it away for a boundary.
Bowling coach.
Boosting my immune system. Life insurance is too complicated. I'll just live forever instead.
Just go to policygenius.com. They compare all the best insurers to get you the best policy. Took me under 5 minutes to apply. You can pay as little as $15 a month.
So I don't have to finish all of these.
No, you shouldn't do that.
Then just these.
Okay. Compare and save with policygenius.com.
Didn't pick up a wicket. It was much better a thought than Jake Ball, for instance, who overpitched the ball far too much. Switched ends. Let's expand on what Nasser Hussain was talking about. Shane Warne has some thoughts on it.
Yeah, thanks, Bish. It's an interesting point and a good pickup from Nasser Hussain about the backlift. I remember going back in the 95 West Indian tour, I was struggling to bowl to Carl Hooper, and I didn't know when he was running down the pitch to me, and he kept hitting me over my head. He kept hitting me for 6 or a boundary. And most batsmen would give you a signal, whether it would be a Lara or a Tendulkar or one of those great players, but they'd go a little bit early, or you'd pick up when they were going to run at you. Sidhu was someone that was hard to do that. But one day in Barbados against Carl Hooper, I couldn't work out when he was coming down, as I said. So we went to a break, and Bob Simpson said to me, "Have you watched his body language? Have you watched him?" I said, "No, I haven't actually." And he said, "Well, just after the break, go back, watch him, and watch every single mannerism." And it took an over or so. He ran down, and there was something I noticed that was different, but I couldn't work out what it was. It took me a couple of overs, and it was exactly what Nasser said. When he was going to charge at me, he would look at me as a bowler the whole time and not move his bat. When he wasn't charging, he'd put his head down, he would tap his bat on the pitch and look back up. So it took a few overs, but batsmen do give you some signals of when they're going to run down. And it was sort of off-putting when you don't know, but once you work that out, it makes it a lot easier to bowl to some of those guys.
Just want to ask you this: how much of a challenge is it standing at the top of your mark, then running in and looking for that little movement, and also concentrating on where you want to bowl?
It's off-putting. It's not easy. It's really difficult to be able to do that. So when batsmen do give you a giveaway, like we just saw here, or a Carl Hooper in that instance I just spoke about, as a bowler, you can really just concentrate on what you're trying to do and how to get him out, rather than worrying about is he going to come, and it makes it a lot easier to be able to bowl the delivery that you want to bowl.
Thanks, Shane. See that in the gap. That's one of the difficult things that England have found. When they've pitched the ball up to Bangladesh, they've driven it well. When they've pulled the length back, they've been able to pull, cut and hook. So they've made it terribly difficult to bowl consistently.
Well, they've certainly expressed themselves very nicely so far in this match. And it's once again Tamim Iqbal who picks up the length very quickly. We saw him earlier putting one behind square. This is a lot straighter in front of the mid-wicket. Terrific hit, another boundary.
I just think they've improved so much in those areas as well, Bangladesh. And the more cricket they play outside of the subcontinent, outside of Bangladesh, the more they go to New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, come to England, is when the next generation will take them even further forward. Ranked number 6 in the world at the moment.
Spot on, Ian Bishop. And they've had success recently. One against New Zealand in the Tri-Series. Sri Lanka, they picked up a win as well. Finishes with a Yorker. A dot delivery to finish the over. 6 in that over. 156 for 2 Bangladesh.
वो मूवी की फीलिंग आ रही है इटालियन हैंड जॉब सिर्फ जॉब बंदा हैंड नहीं अबे वो हॉलीवुड वाली है वो मैं नहीं देखता ओनली नॉटी वर्जन जैसे तूने देखी होगी टर्मिनेटर मैंने देखी है स्पर्मिनेटर वाओ अभी नई और आई है सेक्सॉर्सिस्ट देखिए तूने सुन मेरी बात लौंडे हाथ नहीं आएंगे
156 for 2. Change of voices. Shane Warne is with Michael Atherton.
Thank you, Bish. Good looking scorecard if you're a Bangladesh fan, with Tamim on 76 and Mushfiqur Rahim on 30. With wickets in the shed and plenty of time left, 21 overs remaining for Bangladesh to try and double this score or thereabouts. I was interested listening to your story there of Carl Hooper, Shane, about the tells. It's a very famous one in tennis, you know, between Agassi and Becker. Very early on, Agassi couldn't work out where Becker would serve, and he eventually worked out the tell, and Becker used to stick his tongue out the moment that he served, and whichever side his tongue pointed out of his mouth was where he was going to serve. Amazing tell. But you're right, just little cues that you look for in all kinds of sports, I guess.
Yeah, it's as a bowler, it was quite distracting. Walking into bowl, I never used to run. I walked into bowl, and not knowing when he was coming down. And it was a very interesting pickup from Bob Simpson to do that, and then to watch it and to work out what it was in the game situation, and made the game so much easier to bowl to a player like that. I've got another good one for you. Just short of the man at point. I remember talking to Greg Chappell about the great Abdul Qadir when he was bowling, and the Australian players were all struggling to pick his wrong'un, and Greg Chappell picked his wrong'un, and everyone said, what did you pick up? And Greg wouldn't tell anyone for a while. It took him a while to get it out of Greg, and in the end he said when Abdul Qadir would bowl his normal wrong'un, his facial expressions were exactly the same, just blank. When he was about to bowl a wrong'un that no one could pick, he had this huge smile on his face because he knew he was about to knock someone over. And so once everyone found out Abdul Qadir was standing at the top of his mark with this huge smile on his face, people knew it was going to be the wrong'un that was hard to pick.
I've got one for you then. I picked up a bowler, Devon Malcolm. When he used to bowl his bouncer, he'd have what you'd call a reverse cock of his wrist. So he'd cock his wrist normally for his normal ball, and then whenever he's going to bowl a bouncer, he would reverse cock it just at the moment of when he got into his kind of release position. Just a little tell that you knew the
Well
bouncer
done. I wish you had
was
told us that when we were playing against him when he used to bowl us thunderbolts. He knocked us over here, wasn't it? 93, I think we were talking about earlier.
I like this ground, Devon. He got 9 for here once against South Africa. That would have been tight. It's a good fielder, Mark Wood. He's a bit of a live wire. He's already taken out. It's Joe Root, actually.
Action looked out. That's from your fast bowler at mid-on, Wood.
Yeah, he's already taken one smart catch, hasn't he, diving away in that position. It's a real live wire. Everything he does at speed.
এই রমজান মাসে বাংলাদেশে টাকা পাঠানোর জন্য বাইরে গিয়ে লাইনে দাঁড়িয়ে অযথা পরিশ্রম করবেন না। পেপ্যালের একটি সেবা জুম ব্যবহার করুন।